The Indiana Fever didn't just beat the Dallas Wings, they crushed them 102-83. But this wasn't just any game. It was the long-awaited moment when Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers finally clashed as professionals in the WNBA. For 5 years, fans followed their electric rivalry. Two teenage prodigies, two separate paths. Clark lit up Iowa, while Beckers chose the legendary UConn dynasty. In college, Clark dominated, especially in March Madness. Geno once doubted if Clark could survive in the WNBA. Well, last night she didn't just survive, she shattered expectations. If you're ready to dive into the records broken and the legacy sealed, comment CC record breaker right now. Let's get into it. Imagine it, two teenage phenoms lighting up the court and sending shockwaves through the basketball world. Clark and Beckers weren't just good. They were already on a collision course back in high school, both ranked as elite recruits, but they couldn't have been more different. Clark, a walking highlight reel, deep threes, no-look passes, relentless scoring. Beckers, smooth, precise. That mid-range jumper, pure silk, court vision that rivaled anyone's, including Clark. When asked about Beckers, Clark didn't hesitate. The respect was real. I've known Paige since middle school, from AAU to World Cup teams. We've played together forever. She's always been smooth, doesn't force it, just takes what the game gives her. Clark said what everyone's been thinking. Her mid-range has always been that clean. She's confident, smooth, and plays at a high level. Always has. 2 stars, 2 styles, 1 brewing storm. Their college paths only deepen the divide. Beckers joined Geno's powerhouse at UConn. Clark, she chose Iowa, underdog territory. But that choice, it changed everything. In March Madness, Clark crushed Beckers' dreams, including a 41-point demolition that knocked UConn out. She won 2 of their 3 head-to-head matchups and grabbed the national spotlight. The media erupted. Fans split into factions. She was Caitlin before Caitlin. She's better than Caitlin. But that talk didn't last long. Clark's early WNBA numbers buried the debate. The rivalry had a new queen. Geno wasn't sold. He criticized Clark's shot selection, questioned her readiness, insisted Beckers had the fundamentals Clark lacked. And then came Diana Taurasi with a message that echoed across the league. This kid's in for a rude awakening. People attacked her for it, but they didn't read the full quote. She's on the wrong team. She doesn't have the skill set to handle that league's physicality. Those weren't just words, they were warnings, and Clark heard every single one. Clark entered the league with everything to prove. Beckers too. So when ABC picked up their first ever WNBA clash for national broadcast, it wasn't just a game, it was a referendum. But Clark was struggling. Her shots weren't falling, the Fever were losing. Even Steph went through a slump, she said. I know how hard I've worked. This isn't something that's going to last. She wasn't looking for excuses. She was preparing for something big. Behind the scenes, things weren't clicking. The Fever had just lost to the Sparks and the Valkyries, teams they should have handled easily. Clark summed it up. We play one good game, then a bad one, then good, then bad. Coach White urged focus on the next 3 games, but something was off. The team was breaking, and the Dallas matchup had suddenly become do or die. Here's the real story. A full-blown power struggle was erupting. Clark wanted fast-paced basketball. White insisted on slow, half-court control. It all came to a head during the Atlanta Dream game. Cameras caught it all. Clark and White, face-to-face, heated, visible tension right before halftime. Analysts sounded the alarm. Third situation this game involving Clark and the staff. Something's going on. The locker room was boiling, and Dallas was right around the corner. On top of it all, the lineup was a mess. Clark was coming off injury. Dantas had just returned from national team play. Nothing was clicking. Turnovers, missed shots, lost chemistry. That explosive fast break energy, gone. We're just not putting good games together, Clark said. But I'm never going to stop shooting. She compared her slump to Steph Curry's cold streaks. And then came Atlanta. They won, but the tension, still simmering. Then came the Dallas test, and everything changed. Coach White finally gave Clark full control. Not a suggestion, a total shift. Clark set the tempo, ran the offense, and from the jump, the floor caught fire. Boston drove and kicked to Clark. Deep 3, you bet. Then came the full court pass to Mitchell, then the block, then the flick ahead. Touchdown Fever. The monster had been unleashed, and it was terrifying. At first, it looked like another close game. First quarter was steady, back and forth. But then, the second quarter exploded. Clark hit a sidestep 3, a fadeaway, a thread-the-needle assist to Howard. The Fever dropped 36 points in 10 minutes, outscored Dallas by 21. It wasn't basketball, it was art. And the team, they fed off her fire. Mitchell dropped 20 on 8 of 12. That's 21 straight double-digit games. Howard was a blur. 18 points, 8 for 9, unstoppable. Boston dominated inside, punishing defenders with ease. It was all flowing from one source, Clark. Then came the history. Franchise record 64 points in the first half, most by any WNBA team this season. 30 assists, 13 of them from Clark, and off the bench, Sophie Cunningham, 13 points, spark plug, hit her 1,500 career point with a strong drive. Cunningham to Howard, another bucket. Dallas was in panic mode. The Fever shot 76.2% in that second quarter, went on a 33-9 run. Dallas had no answer. Tired legs, flat effort, confused schemes. Clark's fast break system was in full effect, and it was a machine. White had finally let go, and everything changed. This wasn't just a run, it was a warning to the league. And just when you thought it was over, Clark made history again. She finished with 14 points, 13 assists, and 5 steals. A stat line only she has ever posted twice in WNBA history. She wasn't just running the offense. She was reading plays before they even happened. One block, one flick ahead, one bucket. Over and over. Clark owned every inch of the court. Cunningham ran the route. Clark launched the pass. Touchdown. Again. Barely over the defender's fingertips. Precision. Power. Perfect. Meanwhile, Owike Ogunbowale, one of Dallas's top players, went 0 for 10. Just 2 points. Clark's defense erased her. The Wings tried to get physical, pulling Clark off the ball, refusing switches, but it backfired. She punished them every time. Final score, 102-83. No debate, no doubt. Total domination. This wasn't just a win, it was a revolution. Clark didn't just belong in the league, she changed it. For the first time all year, the true Fever basketball, fast, relentless, beautiful. 75 to 80% of the game was pure Clark tempo, and the result, franchise records. Team chemistry, offensive flow. It all started the moment White trusted the Storm. The prophecy is fulfilled. Clark isn't just part of the league, she's rewriting it. And with road games against Connecticut and New York ahead, this is just the beginning. Comment CC Record Breaker if you're ready for more. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because this ride is far from over.